It seems like people really have to go to battle for things like, I already paid this bill, and are you going to cover this? And I thought this was covered, and then I got a bill. I already paid this twice or whatever.
I just feel like you shouldn't have to fight with them. I'm paying to have insurance, and it should be a covered item.
I mean, when you've got things that are mounting and coming in, and then you're getting calls, and so you start to go into fear mode.
Just scared. Scared at all the extra costs that might come up and how much it's gonna, cost us.
So I thought, how do people that don't have insurance, because I still can't pay these bills.
You're in a crisis situation, and when you're in crisis, you don't always have the presence of mind to think for yourself, to make decisions.
There's a lot of anxiety that goes along with the uncertainties.
And so then I just feel a little bit lost and just kind of, I don't feel like I can actually seek out the best healthcare coverage.
So you're going to get a variety of people. And so I think you have to adapt your language. If you get someone and they're not understanding you, it's okay to use other words to help them to understand.
They tell you all this stuff, and really, I mean, you don't understand their procedures and their codes and their, how things are filed. And in all honesty, they should be taking care of that. When somebody calls in with a dispute, it should be taken care of on their end.
When someone calls about health insurance, then you know it's related to their health. To what extent, you don't know, but you know that there is something wrong. They're trying to seek some medical attention.
You got to understand that the frustration on the patient's level, if they're calling in, it's for, something's going on to start with, or you'd probably never hear from us.
I think you have to have a voice of compassion, a voice of understanding. I'm here for a potentially life-threatening situation.
You hear me, you realize, you're aware. I guess that's another feeling that, thank goodness someone's aware.
They kept saying, if you want this, say this, and if you want that, say that. I want to talk to a human.
This is what I want to do. This is what I like. My other job I was dealing with paper all day. Paper. And now I get to deal with people, and I like it.
When I talk to a member on the phone, it's a friend. It's not just, a member. It's a friend that I'm talking to, that I'm there to help, to make sure that everything goes well.
Well, this one woman told me that she's never had anybody be so nice to her before. I said, well, you haven't called HAP before, I know. And so she says, no, I just mean in general. You seem like you really care about me.
When we hire for the personal service coordinators, there are a number of things we're looking for. One of the things that we want is the ability to think outside the box, because it's very important that you think creatively to resolve members' concerns and issues.
I really think there's sort of a culture of volunteerism in this organization, and not exactly sure what to attribute it to, but we have seen over 80 employees a year volunteering for our events, and they're coming from all over the company.
I believe that everybody, and I believe that the perception at HAP is that we are all HAP ambassadors. Whether you work on the quality management team or another team, we're all ambassadors because we represent HAP. Whether we're at HAP or whether we're in the community, in our homes, talking with our families, in our churches, participating in volunteerism activities, we are always HAP ambassadors.
They're coming out on Saturday morning, they're coming out after a long work day, and helping us to do the events, which we couldn't do without them.
On a given day, I would have direct contact with, say, pharmacy care management, referral management.
It could be the claims department, membership and billing.
We're internal customers of one another. So if you're not facing the external customer, you're facing those that are inside the company, we're still customers of one another.
We have to make sure that client services is aware in case a member calls. We have to make sure that sales and marketing is aware, because when they talk to potential employer groups, they're talking about one of the programs that they would talk about are the quality management programs. So it's imperative that we communicate throughout the plan.
That's our culture. Our culture is taking care of the customer. Our culture is, and you can hear that all throughout the organization, of how people want to make sure our customers are taken care of, resolving customer issues.
I had a woman tell me yesterday, she says, you know, I read this book, I read this page, and I didn't understand it, and you just knew the right words to say. Quote unquote, that's what she said. You just knew the right words to say, because now I understand.
I really think the differentiator for HAP is the people that work for HAP, the people, that's my team members, the people on the front line every day that have that passion, that takes care of those customers, that communicate the customer not only in their words but their actions, that we care and that we're committed to doing what's right. I think that's the thing that really gives us the competitive advantage, because the people here really drives this organization to success.
The most memorable story was years ago, but it still stands out the most. It was the couple, and the woman had stage 4 cancer. And he called me because he had heard about a clinical trial that was outside of his network. He said to me, she's at stage 4, and he lowered his voice because I guess she was in another room and he didn't want her to hear it. He said, but this will give us some hope. And if you could just see what you could do to help us get there. And I get out every time I think about it. And we'd really appreciate it. And so I'm thinking, I don't know what I could do, because I mean, it's clear you can't go outside your network. I didn't say that to him. I just told him, well, we'll see. And then I went and talked to the manager, and she bent the rules a little bit, and he was able to go for the clinical trial. And he called me later and he told me that it had went well, but she didn't qualify. She was too far gone. He didn't say she was too far gone. He just said she didn't qualify. So I knew what that meant. And then this had to be, I know it was warm during the time. And then around Christmas time, I got an email from him. And he told me that she had died. And he said that he thinks about me all the time, and he wanted me to know that I should never think that my job didn't make a difference and wasn't important, because it did. That, to me, it was just memorable. That, you know, he tried so hard to save her and he couldn't, and I did what I could to help him, but he was grateful that HAP had someone to help him.